my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm absolutely excited. Sorry to come so strong at you guys, but we have a major, major, major milestone that we are celebrating today. And I think it really is something to celebrate. We are today recording and you are listening to a 200th episode of Into Your Life podcast. What do you think about that, Natalie?
Oh, wow. I'm so excited. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? 200 episodes. Can you imagine when I said to you, let's start a podcast? And you were like, did you ever think we would get to 200 episodes? I'm so excited. It's something that is just wow. It's been an amazing journey. We've met so many amazing people and we've done it. 200.
I know every single week. That's one thing that's still like it's quite easy maths how long we've been doing this because we have been very consistent and for the past almost 4 years, because we have obviously 52 weeks in a year, we have been releasing an episode. Most of them with guests, some of them with just the two of us. But it has been a consistency in my life, in your life, for the past 4 years. And yeah, as you said, can you imagine back in COVID when we reconnected and we started talking and we started discussing the idea of the podcast that 4 years later we are still going to be here, we're still going to be friends, we're still going to love doing this. And oh boy, how much has changed and how much we have learned. So I'm curious, what does 200 episode, what does it mean to you, Natalie?
Ah, that's a big question because when you think about it, 200 is not really that big a number. It's just it's a smallish number. I mean, if I just think about the rand and dealing with currency, that's maybe 5 or 6 loaves of bread. It's not a lot, so when you really see, when you think about it, 200 is not a big number. And then you think, but 4 years, how do you reach 200 in 4 years? But like you said, it's for a year only has 52 weeks in it. And when you start to look at it like that, and when you start to realize for 4 years, we've committed to this every week, we've chatted, you and I, we've had guests, but we've constantly been in communication because we planning things, we discussing things, we working out diaries. 4 years is a long time to be part of somebody's life and to really commit to something. So yeah, it has this small number, but yet this big commitment. And I think it's really beautiful because you and I have got to know each other so well. We've known each other for what, 12 years, but we've only really connected and spoken the last 4 years. And it's almost been on a weekly basis. We've even managed to meet face to face at times because you left the UK. But the thing is when you look at it like that, it's like, wow, 4 years we have been in each other's lives. We have met so many amazing people. So I just think, wow, 4 years, Lenka, you have been a friend to me. You have been in my life. And it's like, yeah, almost as long as my first marriage. So well done, you. And I still like you. I still want you in my life, which is even better. So, yes, thank you so much for the past 4 years and the commitment. But I'm going to throw that question back at you.
Yeah, it's interesting the way you said, oh, 200 is not such a big number. I'm like, if we think about it, it's about 150 guests, probably over the time. And if you imagine a conference where you had 150 guests or 150 speakers over a period of time, it's a massive event. And again, if you think of, episodes get listened to more than one person at a time. So you have, 10 listeners, 100 listeners, 1,000 listeners, whatever it is. Each episode then accumulates to this wonderful audience that each of our chats then gets amplified and magnified. So yes, it might be only 200 episodes, which I still think in a podcast terms, where we know that most podcasts cannot reach beyond the number 10 episodes, that they fail within the first year. And we have been going 4 years strong, and we have 400 episodes, we have 200 episodes, and we're nowhere near start, being done and stopping and slowing down. We have energy and excitement and want to bring another season and want to bring more exciting content. And as you said, we still like each other, we're connected, we're friends, we're kind of part of each other's lives this way. I think it has been an incredible, incredible journey. And yeah, for me, the 200 is actually a really impressive number, because I look at it from the perspective of, if I have 200 people in the room, in one of them listened once, it's a massive room. It's a very packed audience. And now knowing that this number is much bigger because there's more listeners per episode, then it just warms my heart to know that this is something we have accomplished, and we have the support of our lovely listeners and amazing guests saying yes to come to our podcast and help us spread the message. So that really is something that I'm proud of.
Likewise, I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud of this little kid that we've created, for want of a better word. And as you said, it's 200 might be small, but it's actually really big. So yes, but just on that note, I just want to share some really random fun facts about 200, because it's 200. Why not? This is just a fun episode for us. So, excuse me if I don't pronounce it correctly, but Diophantus, the ancient Greek mathematician of Diophantus equations fame, was born around the year 200. Fun fact. Who knew that? Nollet's experiment, physicist Jean-Antoine Nollet demonstrated electric conductivity by connecting 200 monks in a circle with wet ropes. Like I said, random fun facts. And the population milestone. So around the year 200 AD, the world's human population was estimated to be about 257 million. There we go. Some fun facts for you today to go and share around the world, and just who knows where they'll land.
You never know when these facts might come in handy. But taking not a more serious note, but going a little bit in more depth into our 200 episodes. I'm curious, obviously, we talked with so many incredible thinkers and experts and shared so much wisdom and inspiration and thought provoking ideas. Is there something that comes to your mind of lessons you've learned, tips that you've implemented, actions that you've taken, or pieces of knowledge that you carry in your mind and you tend to, mention them in conversation, you recommend these episodes to people? Like, we have not prepared anything. We have not looked at the stats of the top performing episodes. We're literally going with our instinctive gut response of what. And again, we're sorry if we're not mentioning your episode, because 200 episodes is a lot. There's been lots of content, and every episode meant so much, and we have learned so much. But I'm sure there are a couple episodes that you either right now specifically at this time mean something to you, or over the time have been a constant that you came back to, mentally re-listened, thought about it a bit more, and started implementing in your life. So let me know, Natalie.
That's a big one. But overall, so it's not a specific episode, but the overall thing that is really guiding me right now, and helping me to find my way, is it's about nature, and it's about being true to yourself, is finding what works for you. And I know this is the overall theme of our podcast, more life in one's life. And we've had guests who really reiterated that, who have planted that seed that says, yes, this is what I need to be doing right now. And it's majority of our guests always talk about nature, talk about healing the soul, healing heart, healing themselves. And it's not necessarily through medication or being ill or anything, but it's having that connection to something that really provides, I don't know, purpose, provides calmness, provides a connection. And this is something that's really over the years have reminded me that this is what I want to be doing. And it's guiding me now. And as I said, it's not one specific episode because so many guests have spoken about it in their own way. But it comes down to being part of nature and being true to oneself and finding a way to live your life that way, and they have changed their lives. We've had people who come from corporate who are into woo woo, who are into healing, who are into all sorts of things. So it's taking things from the past and learning from them and implementing them or changing your life to be more true to you, to who you are. Because as you and I say, it's those shoulds. Those shoulds put so much pressure on, and it can be negative pressure. It's you should do this, you should do that. Why didn't you do this? You should have done that. But it's not about that. It's about what is in my heart, my soul to move forward and making those changes. And we've had a lot of guests who've done that. They've made those changes and they're finding their way and they've shared their story. And that for me has been the proverbial kick up the butt that's got me sitting here in South Africa. It's really humid at the moment. It's pouring down with rain, but it's so hot. And as you said before we started, I chose to be here. And this is what it is. Yes, I can complain about the heat. I'm struggling with the heat, but that's okay because I've chosen to be here because I'm finding a new way of life, of living. And this is through our guests, just reminding me personally, you know what? You want it, you can do it. And I think that's so important for me. And that's the overall what I have got from listening to our guests, from, having them communicate their story. And yes, we've had some really practical things, how to eat healthy, how to meditate, different ways to meditate. But the overall is about finding more life in one's life. Who knew? What have you got from our guests? What have you really, as you said, is it a specific or is it an overall? What has really helped you over the past 4 years with our guests?
Yeah, I think what you said is very much one of the things I was thinking about. It's the pretty much every episode there is something about stop shooting yourself and overcoming the shoots and finding your way. And so many of our guests have given us specific permission slips to do it your way, find your way, listen to your body, listen to your intuition. And that's for me one of the big lessons also from the journeys of our guests and us. It's the proof of the incredible resilience of the human body, human mind, human soul, human existence. It's our incredible ability to really see people's journeys and then apply for ourselves and see we can heal so much of stuff ourselves. We can overcome so much by ourselves. It is accepting the responsibility, as you said, is kind of accepting that I am choosing this. It is in alignment. It might not be the easiest path for me, but because I have chosen it, it is in alignment with who I am, who I want to be, how I want to live. And I'm embracing all the challenges and ups and downs that are going to come, and I am better for it, and I live happier, healthier, more fulfilled, as we are on this podcast all about. So yeah, for me it's very much the proof of the human resilience and getting lots of different specific tips and tricks and snippets, and every episode kind of gets you thinking about, my sleep routine, my morning and evening routine, how much time I'm spending outside, how am I exercising, how am I healing. But for me, and I think you will be the one to really comment on this, it's the journey into the woo woo. I think for me, that's been the biggest transformation. I definitely came into the podcast with a lot more of the scientific mind, a lot more with the logical, rational, let's find a proof in the pudding and let's break down the studies and look at the facts. And it's still the case. I still love me a good scientific study with a very good methodology and break it down and understand how it applies. But for me, the biggest surprise to myself has been how much more open I am to the woo woo stuff, the spiritual stuff, the stuff out there. And I'm really surprising myself so often with the ways, the things I'm accepting as possibilities. And I know with it, I talk with certain friends on a regular basis, and I can feel how we're just going further apart in certain topics because they are staying very much in the lane of science and rigor and analysis and data. And I'm like, but there is data. It's just you need to look at the studies. And even without those, I think for me, it's the choice to believe. I think the biggest transformation I've seen in myself in this podcast, it's I've made a decision to choose to believe and to open my mind to anything and everything above and beyond of what I've ever imagined possible, and my life is better for it. That's what I'm gonna say.
Love it. I love it. And yes, your journey has been a big leap, and it's been fun watching you going and seeing. And I remember so the first time we had a woo-woo person on, and I remember you going and trying not to judge and trying not to like, ooh, okay, what is this? And the process, but what's really helped you is being open to it. You didn't just say, nope, we're not doing that. It's like, okay, but you might have to lead it. I don't have anything to say. And if memory serves me well, you were pretty much in there asking questions. So that's good. So, yes, it has been an amazing to see your progression, your acceptance of something new and acceptance in yourself that okay, I might have thought like this and now a little bit like this, but realizing you can combine the two. It's not a choice. You don't have to decide one or the other. They both connect, they're both there. So yes, it's been beautiful watching you blossom in that in that way.
So we have now looked back at the past 200 episodes and kind of summarized a little bit of, what of a journey it has been. So, what is your hope and your wish and your intention for the next 200 episodes? Because let's be brave and, let's say that we will make it to episode 500 one day, which means we are committing to each other for another 4 or 5 years. This is a little bit of the renewal of the vowels for us, that we are recommitting to ourselves and that our relationship is a good place. We still love doing this and we still want to show up for ourselves, for each other, and obviously for our amazing listeners. So, what is it that you want the next 200 episodes to be like?
Ooh, 200. That's a long time when you think about it. But yeah, it's I want to show you South Africa within that 200 episodes and to actually have episodes with you and I here in South Africa. But I think it's really connecting to and staying the course with more life in one's life, what we started through guests. But also for myself, this is for myself. And I know we spoke about it in our last episode that we did together, is about sharing more of me. So being more vulnerable and really sharing this journey that I'm on, the physical journey of finding somewhere to live, but also the emotional, spiritual learning journey that I am embarking on or am in the beginning of. And I think that for me is my challenge to myself, is to really be more vulnerable, be more open, be there to really share what it's like to be doing this and to find myself but also to find somewhere to live and to be sharing that. And of course, learning more, through our guests, through reading, through not forgetting where I've come from, but also just being more open. Because the great thing about having guests is we don't have to share so much about what we're going through. We can ask questions and it's about them. And I think, we've done this for 4 years. It's time that I really step up and start sharing more of, my stories, but also just if it's a bad day or a bad decision, fess up. It's okay. So I think that for me is what the next 200 episodes about. Is not just about me and my journey, but it's a sharing more, and of course having more beautiful, wonderful guests and seeing where they take us as well. So that will be exciting. So what is it that you're looking for? What personal challenge are you giving yourself or wanting to do? But also, where do you see this next 200 going?
Yeah, I'm definitely there with you on the sharing more of our journeys, because yeah, it's so easy to almost hide behind the guest and let them, obviously we want them to shine and we want their incredible knowledge and wisdom, but it is then we're not really showing ourselves. And as I said, I think I have made quite a big of a transition and progress and evolution, and yet I don't feel like I'm talking enough about it, and I don't feel like I have enough processed enough to really feel and step in comfortably to show up myself as this fully embracing the wildest woo woo out there kind of a person, and knowing how to implement it into my private life. Yes, like I live it, I believe it, but then my other existence of talking to friends, talking to family, showing up on social media, building a business, to kind of implementing what I'm learning, I'm implementing in my life, in my private little van life bubble over here. But I am struggling to then find a way, how am I showing up in social media, in content, in relationships, and being this new person that lots of people don't know exists, or kind of giving a little hints and still steering more towards the science rather than the woo woo. So I think us processing out loud in these episodes of having more of an implementation, and how are we really navigating and changing and evolving, and as you said, the ups and downs, the pros and cons, that's what I'm looking forward to experiencing and really pushing myself out there. But at the same time, I'm excited to really look for some really incredibly unique guests who can, again, broaden our horizons, who can take us on journeys that we have not expected to go on, which is the beauty of our guests, that we rarely know what we're gonna get, and we love it every single time. So that's two things for me. Yeah, it is the implementation of really stepping in and showing up. And then it's the what kind of guests with the stamp of approval and the quality and, the legacy of 200 episodes. What kind of guests we will be able to get for the podcast to share their knowledge and introduce them to our community and allow them to, share their wisdom with us. So that's for me.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. That's all I can say. Love it. So we will hold each other accountable, and we will make sure that when we are in these episodes, that we help each other and push each other and kick each other up the butts and just be there. And I think together we can do this. You and I, we can do anything.
Oh yes. Oh yes, we can, especially together. Is this the beautiful thing of this podcast? It's we are not alone. We're in it together.
As Lenka said, we are not alone, and we are definitely not alone because we have our beautiful guests and we have you, our amazing listeners. So thank you so much for being there for 200 episodes, for being part of our rambles, our guests, our stories, and whatever we have given. And is there anything that you would like us to talk about, to share? please feel free to ask, to write in the comments, to reach out to us, because Lenka and I, we love looking into or talking about pretty much anything, or we can help to find the guests who have that specific topic if we don't necessarily know it ourselves. Because yeah, Link and I like to think that we know a lot, but in reality, we don't know. But we are always wanting to learn. We are forever looking for more, finding out more information. And this is the great thing, is we can never learn too much. And on that note, please do just share with us anything that you would like. What have you got from guests, past guests, or even from the episodes that Lenk and I have done together? What aha moments have you had, and where do you or think or would like us to moving forward to topics that we might not have spoken about? And until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.